Hey junkies, how's it going? Wanted to hop on today. Been feeling some very powerful energies. And oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful day. It's warming up. The pond's getting full. Look at that. It gets full every year and then it sinks about 10 feet in the winter. Been getting a ton of rain here, but oh my gosh, I was just meditating and wanted to hop on here because I feel like I have a message to share. And I brought some cards to do some free readings if anybody hops on and wants a reading. But listen. Listen. The birds. All the birds are singing, and my ears are ringing. I made a rhyme. The birds are singing, and my ears are ringing. Oh my gosh. But in meditation, guys, and I'll probably just close my eyes because somebody's going to pop through. I've just been feeling like spring is... It's time for spring cleaning. It's time to get the soil ready for the planting of the seeds. It's time to rake up all the debris and all the weeds and all the leaves and put them in the compost pile to be regenerated as it sinks and decays and goes into the earth. It brings forth a richness because it went through the life cycles. That compost, it went through the life cycles of living and becoming food. Now it's going to become food for the earth as it goes back into the ground and it regenerates. But it is time for spring cleaning. It is time to get ready for the planting of the seeds. It is time to prepare the ground, and the ground is you. The ground is the lower chakras, your root, your sacral, your solar plexus, the lower chakras that ground you into Mother Earth, that prepare you for the new season that's coming. It's time for detoxing and getting rid of the things that do not serve you anymore. Let it go. Let go of those things. Even the people that you come in contact with, foods that you come in contact with, you have to be sensitive to your feelings, to your emotions, to how you feel. Pay attention to the now. And detox, clean out, spring cleaning, clean out your house, clean out your stuff, clean out your body, the temple. Prepare the ground for the planting of the seed that is going to yield a harvest, a new harvest, an intense harvest, an abundant life, an abundant harvest. As the seeds are planted, they are going to multiply and bring forth good fruit. Good fruit. What does that mean to you in terms of your everyday life? It's going to bring forth prosperity. It's going to bring forth success. It's going to help you be established in the changes that you want to make in your life. It's going to help you grow in your walk, in your spirituality, in your awareness. It's going to help you ascend to higher levels that you've never been at before. It's going to help you see things that you've never seen before. Planting those seeds, and it's not going to just bring forth one plant. It's going to bring forth twins and triplets out of the same seed. The seed is even going to be multiplied. Clean your temple, clean your house, clean everything that does not serve you. It's time to get rid of it. It's time to not ignore the energies that you have been feeling. It's time to not suppress it anymore. Winter is over. The dead season is over. Now it's a time to prepare this ground to offer it up to Mother Gaia, to prepare the ground for the seed, to turn the soil up, to upturn the soil of your heart, to dig in deep, Guys, I'm not talking about your garden. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. You are the garden. You, the temple of your heart. It's time to turn it up, to dig in, to get out the weeds, to get out the clumps, to get out the things in your heart that have held you back. It's a new season. The birds are singing. The flowers are blooming. Hopefully the cold's gone for good. I'm looking for Lizzie because she took off on me. Lizzie! Lizzie! Yep, she probably went running down the street. So let's go for a little walk. Lizzie! But it's an amazing time, guys. And those that are sensitive to it, you cannot become so distracted that you press down the sensitivity, that you don't let nature run its course. It's time to get rid of the blocks, to pull out them weeds, the weeds that cause you to strangle, that cause you to not be productive. Lizzie! Every time I let that dog out, she takes off. So, want to see? I'll show you. That's up the hill. Lizzie! That's down the hill. And up there is my house. Lizzie! Oh, I'm walking outside in my house slippers, getting wet. Oh well, she'll come back. I'm not chasing her down the street. Lizzie! I'm worried though, because I don't want her to get hit by a car. We don't get very many cars down our road. We live out in the country. But, so that's what I was feeling today, guys. Just coming out of meditation. That it's so awesome and it's so strong, and right now you are being supported to make the changes in your life that you have always wanted to make, but nothing ever stuck. You tried, nothing ever stuck. It's gonna stick this time, because now is the time. You've had little bitty taste. Looking back, you've had a taste here and a taste there, and maybe you brought forth a plant and it just had a little tiny fruit on it that was sour. As I was eating grapes this morning, it reminded me. I had some small grapes in that bunch and big grapes of every size, but the small ones were so bitter. They wasn't ripe. It wasn't time. They were picked before their time. But the bigger ones, the plump ones, the full ones were juicy and sweet because it was time. See, we're dealing with the timeline here for us. Hey, there she is. See? Where'd you go? You stay here, booger. We're dealing with the timeline. We have to live in this 3D world that goes by time. But as we ascend, guys, as we learn to walk in the Spirit at all times, as we learn to walk in the Spirit and be led by the Spirit that we are, the true essence of who we are in this physical body, all we see is through the eyes of Source. We see that there's no lack. We see that there's healing. We see that there's love. We see that there's abundance. There's prosperity. There's everything that we need to live and function here on this earth. And we're going to live and function here on this earth until our time is up. This already is the new earth. It's what you make it. Thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. It's what you make it. You can stay attached to your 3D life and the old humdrum, or you can learn to walk in the Spirit and experience a richness that you have never experienced before. Do you understand what that means? But you have to do the work. Nobody can do it for you. We can help you. We can assist one another. We can give you ideas. But when it comes down to it, you have to clean the house. You have to plant the seeds. You have to turn up the soil in your heart, to dig deep and uproot the weeds. You have to do it. I can't do it for you. Other people can't do it for you. We can only share with you bits and pieces of our experience that are ours. Our experience is not even going to be the same experience that you have. When you do start digging in, when you do start cleaning house, come on, Lizzie. It's up to you. And I'm not talking about a long time. This doesn't take long, especially now when we're in a season, guys, where growth is multiplying because of the vibration of the earth increasing. The sensitivity is increasing on you. The pressure to ascend is coming on you. That's why you can't get away from it. You can't get away from it. There is no place to run. You're either going to go with it and ascend and do the work, or you're going to be left behind, so to speak. I don't even know what other way to put it. Sickness and disease is running rampant. And if you look and see who it's on, I hope I don't offend anybody with this, but I'm going to say it. When you look at sickness and disease upon people, they don't want to change their eating. They don't want to detox. They don't want to do what it takes. They don't want to do the work to heal themselves. So what's going to happen? They're going to get worse. And you got to say bye-bye. You know? That's the way I see it. So I'm detoxing. I'm starting my day. I usually like juice myself, okay? But I've been so freaking lazy. So I bought some. This is what I got. This juice. It's a green juice. Apples, cucumber, celery, kiwi, banana, kale, spinach, rome, and lemon. And there's like 3 servings in this one bottle. So I just bought a couple of these bottles because I was lazy and didn't want to take the time to do the juicing myself. But so, okay, so that's what I got today. That is a message from Spirit. I have no idea. I'll have to go back and listen to it. All I remember is cleaning and seeding. So, if you guys want a reading, I'm only showing 2 people's in here. I don't know who's in here, so maybe I won't do any readings. It's exciting. It's an exciting time to be in. It's an exciting time to be living in. To know that you are going to begin to manifest things that you have not been able to manifest before. Sorry guys, I'm still feeling really the Spirit. We've tried on our own. It is not in your own accord. You cannot do this in the natural. This is a spiritual thing. First, you have to believe it. You have to see it in your mind's eye. You have to be able to imagine that thing done. The desires of your heart. Whatever it is. But it comes down to, this is what it's going to come down to. Shit's going to hit the fan. The powers that be are going to fall. The world as we know it, when you turn on the news, you're not going to see things getting better. You're going to see things getting worse. But you have that place of peace, that place of rest that you can go to within. And you can transmute that energy and send it out in balls of light and love. They are not going to know what hits them. They are going to get with the program or be transmuted themselves. But as stuff starts going on, as you start seeing declining things, the media that's always doing their thing, making everything a million times worse than it already is, you have the power within to see things in a different light and to begin to make things manifest in that different light. You know, I'm reminded of a verse where Jesus multiplied the fishes and the loaves. There were over 5,000 people. He had 2 fish and a loaf of bread. He blessed it and multiplied the fishes and the loaves that they had 12 baskets left over after feeding over 5,000 people. Now, there is some spiritual meaning to that. But there is also the idea of speaking something and blessing something and seeing it grow, seeing that seed grow that multiplied in so many different directions that it fed everyone within the vicinity of where he was. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Walking in that spiritual realm, where you're able to pull things out of the heavens, pull things out of that vortex, and let it manifest in your life to touch and change other people. Touch and change other people. And as they see that, as they see it begin to happen, they're going to ask questions. They're going to want to know what happened, how you did that. They're going to want what you have. They're going to want the Christ consciousness within you that pulls forth these things and is able to make something out of nothing just by speaking the word, a word. And there is more that are going to jump on than jump off. Even though it looks bad, however the media brings it across, even though it looks like, what if the economy crashes? What if this goes on? What if there's another war? What if? What if the light overcomes the darkness? What if you see that darkness for what it is to do? To catapult you into being all that you were meant to be. Use that contrast for good. Turn it around. You have the power to turn it around. You have the power to turn it around. Nobody can do it for you. It is your power. It is your authority. And you must learn to tap into it. Without fear, without doubt, without any reservations. It's your power. It's your authority. It's your seed. It's your garden. And it's up to you to tend that garden. To take care of it. To gently baby that plant. Gently. So that it grows up into a mighty oak. A mighty cedar. A mighty tree that brings forth much. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm still only showing 2 people on. Wow, I don't know where that came from. But anyway, that's what I've been feeling. I don't even know. I don't know who that was. I don't know who brought that forth. All I'm going to say is it came from my higher self. I just know that it wasn't me. It was stirring in me, and I wasn't going to get rid of it until I released it. So it's yours. Take it as you will. Don't worry about the things that you see going on with your natural eye, because you can turn those things around just by speaking your thoughts, good thoughts, and believing them in your heart. You can transmute that. And that's what we're coming to, guys. We're coming to an age where we are able to transmute it. You do not have to send back negative energy or curses or put up a mirror around you so that when somebody looks at you and thinks something, it bounces back to them. Listen to me. That is hogwash. That is doing more damage than good. We don't send back negativity. We don't send back curses. We don't do that. You transmute it, or you cut it off and speak it to go into the ground and die. Send it back to the light. Send it to the light and let it be transmuted that way. You transmute it or you send it back to the light. You don't send it back to where it came from. Because you do that and you're going to reap what you sow. It just keeps going around and around and around. It just keeps coming back. Don't do that. Ia nananaya nananaya maya makasa nanaya. Omo kose tia ta ta la 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 ya. Ima nananaya. Omo kose tia ta. Let the walls fall down. The walls of protection that you have built up around yourself. Let them fall down. It is time for you to walk in your true, authentic self. It is time for you to walk in faith and in confidence, believing that nothing is impossible. For you, through you, and to you, nothing is impossible. It is time for you to pick up that staff, to pick up your walking stick, which is a representation of authority and power, holding a staff. Walk in your power. Know that you are loved and supported. You will never be forsaken. Okay, guys. I'll talk to you later. Love.